Welcome to the Mid Week Tease with me, Adelle Onyango, where I share some random and not too random thoughts on things. And in this episode, we're back with part 2 of my convo with money educator and entrepreneur Susan Wanjiku. And in this part, this is where things get real. We talk about the pressure to look successful online. I know you identify with that, isn't it? We talk about the myth that you need huge capital to start investing, and even the discipline it takes to keep your business afloat, right? Especially when lifes. What I love about Susan is she really digs deep and shares with us in a very vulnerable way just her own personal experiences. So in this episode, she shares how she built a business emergency fund that saved her during her maternity leave. And she talks about why vibes can be very expensive and the mindset shifts that every single entrepreneur, freelancer needs to move away from. And just a note, this conversation is leading directly into our last wellness talk of the year that's happening on the 25th of October from 9 a.m. It's absolutely virtual, meaning what's the excuse for not checking in? Regardless of where you are, right? And Susan is our guest speaker, and she's going to be unpacking practical, smart money strategies for entrepreneurs and freelancers, including the money mindset that we need to have so that we can thrive, how to separate business and personal finances, how do we budget with an irregular income, how do we create a simple profit and loss sheet that we all need to have, why it's important to build an emergency fund for your business and how you can do it, and then investing as an entrepreneur or a freelancer. Even small amounts go a long way. Tickets are just 1,000 bob, and if you check out the show notes, you can grab your ticket right now. We do have limited tickets because once we hit our threshold, we're going to close our ticket portal. But I can promise you that at this talk, you're going to get the financial clarity that every single entrepreneur needs. But right now, let's get into part 2 of my convo with Susan. And we kick off with just the pressure that social media gives us to look like we're running big businesses instead of us just embracing where we're at, where we want to go, and what money mindset is going to get us there.
Again, another reason I don't like social media is because every week there's someone launching something. It's like, do you know, Adele, I think I told you this before. I started my business in my bedroom, right? Guess where? I'm still doing well. It's not in the bedroom, but it's in the home. It's at a corner, in my home with a very nicely done backdrop that I can use for videos or whatever. Because I'm just like, listen, I know everyone, and occasionally we will get a phone call from someone and say, hey, nyinyi ni wale financial advisor, hey. Iko wapi ofisi yenu? So you might feel, some people will take me seriously if I don't have like an office or whatever. And those are some of the things I think I prefer to live by my truth as opposed to setting up offices so that once in 2 weeks, one client can come in and experience
for 1 hour.
For 1 hour. So I pay rent, I pay a receptionist, I do fittings and fixtures in a new office space just so that on Instagram I can post and say, hey guys, this is the office that you can find us. But like 70% of my clientele is actually Kenyans in the diaspora.
Yeah.
We are doing this thing on Zoom.
Online.
Right? So if I was to succumb to the pressure of people saying, hey, but you've done this business so long, now you guys need to have an office. So I think also that growth is good, but as you said, it really needs to be progressive. And I think for me, a nice rule of thumb that I use to determine whether I need to be doing it is not what people are doing or what people are asking for. It is the business asking for it.
Yes.
Like, have I gotten to a point, like, now I'm even leaving the house 3 times in the day, or I'm meeting 3 clients that needed a physical meeting, to the point that now I'm just like, hey, now you guys will start coming to my home. And because I can't bring people to the sanctity of my home,
Exactly.
now I decide, okay, this business where it's gotten, first of all, the cash flow, these people are willing to pay, they're willing to come. Yeah. But otherwise, it would just be for the looks.
For vibes too.
For
And vibes
vibes.
can be expensive.
Yeah. So even where we choose, I mean, I also work with a client. She has a very lucrative online shop on Instagram. And that's one of the things she kept telling me, Coach, we just keep getting people asking about offices, whatnot. So I told her, this month, I want you to track how many people have actually asked for the office, like where can I come, versus how many people just ordered online from like your website on SEO or whatever. And like that month only was like maybe 8 people out of like almost 100 and something sales, like 30 something sales. So I was like, would these 8 people have justified the amount of rent you're trying to go pay in CBD so that you can just say, hi guys, come for a sip and shop, our new store, da-da-da-da-da. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm also saying eventually let the business itself get to that point where now it's actually going to cost you not having an office space, or not having a physical location, or not, I mean, freelancers, we go through, I mean, simple things like even just upgrading your car. Kwanza, us who are on the social media space, because now you're thinking, there's how branding has also been sold nowadays, that it's also about like material things, like who does your hair, what car are you driving? So someone would argue, Susan, I'm investing in my looks, I'm investing in my skin, I'm investing in my clothes because I'm the brand. But then how much of that is actually...
Where's it coming back? Where's the ROI?
Yeah, where's the ROI? And even then... And you understand?
Lama, yeah.
Duku, you know, even then, I'm still I think we succumb to pressure a lot.
So happy you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because even this week on one of our shows, I talked about guarding your online, like what you're consuming. And the reason I do that is I don't want to feel rushed. I don't want to forget where I'm taking my business.
Yeah.
On my end, I remember there was a time someone told me, you think about having your own studio and na.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
yeah, actually,
when we are done recording our full shows, what, pray tell, is that studio going to be doing?
And you hire it.
I was like, but you see, and then I was like, but that's not in line
with my vision.
With my vision, and it's not my business. It's such a solo decision.
It's very solo, because when it comes down to who will accommodate the losses, if any, all the noises, everyone else who had suggestions, ideas, I'm just telling you, because I think you will hear crickets.
Yeah.
Or if you don't hear crickets, you'll be trending.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, you'll be trending for, or you know, you shut down your shop, you closed your business, or now your house was reassessed. You know, those things, because it's very, and I think that's why it needs to be, it should be personal. It's the same thing I think I keep saying about personal finances. I think there's a reason they're called personal.
Yeah.
It's just really personal.
It should make sense to you.
It should make sense to you and to you only. Because at the end of the day, unless tuna share the losses, you people are shareholders in my business.
Yeah.
So now I won't pay you dividends because we've made losses. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But if it's just the regular MSMEs, you're just doing a small micro enterprise or medium-sized business, I think as founders, as the creative directors of our different, ventures, it's really, really important that you are making financial decisions, not just because of how it will appear, but because in the books it actually makes financial sense. And I think also something else is what you're trying to do going to actually move the needle. Because fine, we've done it, it looks cute.
Yeah.
But will it really move the needle?
Do you know, when we started, we had 2 shows. We had our flagship show, now Legally Clueless.
Yeah.
We had another show called Perspective. Perspective was a live show.
Oh.
And live venue. Completely different needs. A lot more expensive. I think each episode, just for the taping and everything, would take, when I've really squeezed, like 80 Gs.
Yeah.
1, right? Yeah. I think we did 3. I looked at the books And I said,
wrap it up.
even the interest in the topic disappeared. I just said, in fact, those gender things, I don't care anymore, guys. We want African stories. Goodbye. And I was like, there is no shame. I was like, it is too expensive for me to sustain the thing.
Jeez, so what's coming back? Like,
and when you begin, there's nothing coming back. You're hoping, okay, we need to have motion, because then now I can attach this to it. I can attach this to it.
Yeah.
And I just said, imagine you have to go. And I actually have no shame. I think somebody asked me about it, and I said it was too expensive to run.
Exactly.
It had to go.
Yeah.
It had to go.
Yeah.
So another thing that we'll be talking about in our wellness talk, I just love this conversation so much, because a lot of people are in these trades that we're talking about, is investments, right? I think, again, like we talked about earlier, is we shut ourselves off from those spaces because, we're not having the every monthly payment. It's not predictable. So when Susan comes around and starts telling us about MMFs or putting our money here, I subscribe to your newsletter. When we talk about real estate, these are the investment opportunities here, blah, blah. You're just like,
with what money?
Susan, I'm not sure I'm going to get, I don't know, right? Is it a fallacy we've told ourselves as entrepreneurs, as freelancers, that we don't have the financial structures to entertain investment? Yeah,
it is, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but I have to. Now I can say it is, because times have changed. Because with as little as 100 bob, I can put money in an MMF.
Yeah.
Some MMFs off the top of my mind, I know one that can give you at 100 bob, right? Let me give you a good example of, you see, like how we know bonds, for instance. So someone is like, for me to buy a bond, I need 50 Gs or I need 100,000. I don't have that kind of money lying around, which is a valid experience for all of us, right? I think the gap is in the financial literacy aspect of it, because we have funds, for example, a fixed income fund that actually invests your money in bonds, but the entry level is 5,000 bob. It's not the 50 or the 100,000 you would put in the bond directly through the central bank.
But you're still getting there.
You're still getting there through like the unit trust.
Yeah.
Another example, a real estate investment trust, for instance, that has one unit selling for 23 bob, and they're telling you can buy as little as the one unit, or even 10 units or 100 units. Say you decide to buy 100 units, that's 2,300. You already invested in a real estate project that pays dividends. Think of it as Safaricom shares selling at 22 bob, for example. You can buy, before actually, we had an arrangement with the Nairobi Stock Exchange where you'd buy a minimum of 100 shares.
Yeah.
So that means if Safaricom is going for 23 bob today, and I want to buy the bare minimum amount of shares as I work on building that app, I just need 2,300. Adele, I've not gotten to 10 Gs. All these examples are like under 5,000.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, now even I think the system is changing, that now they'll allow us to buy from the Nairobi Stock Exchange, buying one.
I was so excited when I saw that.
Yeah. A pension fund, which I believe, oh my God, I hope during the wellness session you'll give me time to talk about freelancers and how we never plan for retirement.
Yeah.
Because we think retirement is an employed people thing.
Yeah.
Any pension fund in Kenya right now can be funded with as little as 1,000 bob. That's an investment. Your money market fund may not be a very fancy investment, but it's earning you some interest. Your stocks, your real estate investment trust, we've not even gotten to 10 Gs.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's more of, it's not a matter of whether there are investments available for us. It is that, I don't know whether to say it in Kiswahili, I don't know a better way. We belittle money. It's like kudharau pesa kidogo. You're looking at it in terms of, sasa, what will 3,000 do for me?
Yeah.
Now, what will 5,000 do for me?
Yeah.
And I think did I tell you how? Like, for example, my pension fund, when I started it, I was working with a company that was allowing us to contribute as little as 500 bob. That's when I started in 2020. Because maybe when I started my journey, I was starting from scratch. When I lost my job, I lost everything.
Yeah.
Because even the little pension walikuwa wameniekea, I asked for it.
Yeah.
Because now how am I going to?
Yeah.
I didn't have savings.
Yeah.
I didn't have investments. I had debt.
Yeah.
So like for me, that's like 2-month pay they gave me. I told them, hey, you guys were cutting me some pension. With that money, I want it. So they sent it. So now even when I was starting my journey, I'm telling you, I didn't even start from zero. I started from negative because I had to pay debt first. So for me, it was really key. So I knew, of course, because I was working in financial investments and management, I knew what I was supposed to do, but I never did it.
Yeah.
So now that the reality slapped my face hard, I was like, listen, me, I don't even need 20,000. Give me 1,000. I know what to do with it. I'm informed. I know what to do with it. Now, let me tell you why that was powerful. With that kidogo money I was earning, because before the coaching business became a thing, by then I was doing freelance writing. I was writing articles for do you know online writing?
Yes, yeah.
So I was doing online writing, and then sometimes a transcribing thing comes, you do, it's just the online gig economy. Yeah. There was a lady I used to write for that, imagine, would pay me 200 bob per page. And me, I would just accumulate. Nimeandika 5 pages leo, tomorrow I've written 8 pages. Me with my entire degree of economics and finance. Writing articles about Russia today did what, then tomorrow I'm a nurse writing nursing procedures, then the other day I'm a lawyer, I'm writing a law article for 3 pages. That was my life until I figured out the business. So you see, just because I started there, I didn't stay there. I started with the online writing, but I had a plan. I was like, I'm gonna start coaching for free. And then these people I'm coaching for free will give me testimonials. And then when they get results, then when they give me the testimonials, I'm gonna post them on my IG, and then more people will begin to see, hey, this girl is helping people figure out debt, she's helping people budget. Maybe now they will come for my paid service.
And start that cycle.
So I had exactly, and it's the same thing with investing. How I behaved when I had 10,000 bob coming in per month is how I behave when 1 million hits my account now. You get
so that little money you're
throwing money, even if it's not moving the needle in terms of getting you to millionaire status, it's doing something to your discipline. It's giving you consistency. It's showing you that even on the months I make kidogo, I'll do what the bare minimum requirement is. So like, for example, my pension fund was 500. So like my commitment was just like, as long as tu niweze kuweka 500. So you see, because I made it mandatory to fund that account every month, as my income increased, we continue with the same trajectory. Now I moved to 2,000 and 5,000 a month.
But the discipline was already learned.
And now let me tell you the power of that discipline. I told you I have low income months. Do you know, to date, I still go back to funding 1,000 mob on some months. Because that's all I could get for that particular month.
But that 1,000 bob still comes in handy.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's still value.
Because of compounding. So for me, what I would say in terms of how we think about investing, number one, I think all freelancers, not just freelancers, but everyone needs to invest in financial literacy, because a lot of us don't invest for a lack of not wanting to. I think it's because we only know of the mainstream expensive kinds of investments. So you already decide that, this doesn't work for me. Now we have like our financial penetration in terms of like the different markets that are now available for us is accessible for everyone, including Mama Mboga in the soko, or mwenye anatuzia jeans in Gikomba. There's opportunities. So I think the lack of knowing those opportunities is a contributing factor. But the most another thing that is really a limiting belief is the whole idea that this is small money, it won't make a difference. But it makes a whole lot of difference, because fine, it may not be getting you to millionaire status, but it's teaching you something. A lot of us, the problem is not how much money we are earning, it's our money habits. So I'd rather train myself with this little money, because I know if I can learn to save and invest kidogo money, I can do way better with a lot of money. And that for me, I mean, genuinely, Adelle, that accelerated my process. I've only had 4 years. Sometimes I look at my portfolio and it's like,
you did that.
And it's not because I've ever gotten a check for $1 million.
It wasn't like one transaction.
It's just 20,000 here. another 10,000 there, 5,000 here, 50,000 here. But then because of the consistency, I'm just like, my only commitment to myself, by the way, every month is that in my accounts, it will not be a zero. If that month all I can do is 1,000,
that's what we're doing.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not gonna be like, Konza, there's a friend of mine that was laughing at me because there was a month, genuinely, just recently. I was like, we were with her, so I was showing her how I do my payday routine. And I was like, surely, uneka 1,000. And then she was asking me how these people for this company don't know you are the finance coach. I'm like, see, they know. They're like, you're not worried about what they will think about you putting 1,000 bob. And I was like, me being worried about, do I live in your house?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, could not be bothered. So I think also the people pleasing in us, and just also, I think we think too much about people who don't even think about us that much.
Yeah, we're fleeting thought, if at all.
You know, even if they did, so what? So Susan finance coach America 1,000, so what?
And they probably don't, out of all the people they're serving, that person is probably thinking of the end of the day.
They probably even think it's another Susan Wanjiku. It can't be you.
Yes.
And even if they did, and I think that's what that prison in our minds of, you know what. So I think we limit ourselves in that way. Investments are there. They're accessible from as little as I've told you, 100, 500 bob, 1,000, 5,000 and below. You can access funds that expose your money to bonds, that expose your money to the stock market. You can fund a pension fund or a retirement fund with that kidogo money. And because we said we are going to start running our businesses a bit more professionally, strategizing, investing in the business, you won't stay at funding 1,000 bob every month.
Yeah.
Eventually growth comes.
Yeah. And especially if you're putting all of these things in place, it will come. So I know definitely we are going to talk about, and that's the bits that I'm very interested in terms of like planning for retirement as an entrepreneur, as a freelancer.
Because we think it's an employee benefit. Now you are the employer. You need to provide that benefit for yourself.
The employee.
What
else does the person listening who's thinking, okay, I need to know more.
Yeah.
What else will they benefit from during the wellness talk?
Sure.
When they come and listen to you?
That's awesome. Definitely we'll do practical examples of how to actually do a P&L. I think a lot of people hear P&Ls. So in our last wellness, we did an Excel sheet.
Yes.
Personal finances.
Yes.
So we'll still have that just for viewing. Of course, because I'd want them to see. So if I'm to separate personal finances and business finances, what would that look like? I'd also like to demonstrate for them how to do, and you know me, I'm such a simple girly.
Yeah.
Again, it's to make it simple and accessible.
Yes.
You don't have to be good at math. You don't have to understand spreadsheets that much. But I'll actually do like a demonstration and maybe share a template that they can actually get that would help them really just do simple things. What's my business income this month? What are my expenses this month? So what was my profit this month? How much do I need to pay in taxes, if any? It's a really nice template that helps you just track, this are my expenses. I need to pay this utilities. This is my, for the people who sell not just services, but also where they need to track the cost of goods.
Yes.
Let's say you manufacture peanut butter or shea butter. There's the raw materials you got. You're just a simple structure of how to track those things. So we'll definitely talk about that. We will talk about building an emergency fund for the business. Because listen, Adele, I think I was telling you earlier on, especially like for me, my experience when I gave birth around a year ago.
Yeah.
You see, if I was employed, I'd have gone on mat leave.
Yeah, and that hasn't paid.
Thank you.
This time?
Yeah. Then there's your plans, and then there's this, there's
life,
and then there's life, and then there's God sitting there like, hold my cup of tea, my strong soldier. So imagine, I did have a plan, be off work. Thankfully, I have an amazing, supportive husband.
Yeah.
So I knew, like, at the back of my mind, like my bare minimums, my needs, as Susan, or the needs of my home. I did not have to worry about a damn thing for like the first 6 or 7 months of my baby's life.
Yeah.
But now I run a business.
Yeah.
I still wanted the YouTube videos to go up regularly because income.
Yes.
I needed my VA to be on emails. So that, like, fine, we were putting people on a waiting list because people kept reaching out, like, I want to work with Susan, I want to work with Susan. If you ignore people for 3 months, 6 months, they've already gotten someone else to work with. So I needed to actually retain my team to keep doing the back end running of the business, even if I wasn't there. Now I'm the income generating asset in the business because I can't earn unless I'm coaching, training, and whatnot. So Mimi, I'm bapping. I'm changing diapers. I have puke on me. The baby's crying. I'm crying. We are crying. I'm not coaching. So my plan was to actually be away from work for 3 months. Unfortunately, my baby had some challenges earlier on. So I actually stayed out of work for 6 months, going into 7. So I would actually do it at 7. Adelle.
And you're paying salaries during this. No revenue is coming in.
There's no money coming in, but there's money going out every month. We have the newsletter platform. We pay for it. We have, you understand, like the business. And I keep telling people, every business person needs a business emergency. And Susan's emergency fund is not the legacy emergency fund. You need money that can even give you runway for 3 months or 6 months so that you don't lose your team, so that you don't lose your shop, so that your assistant keeps supporting you. Maybe you got unwell, you broke a knee, whatever. Things happen.
The economic climate, I told you, this year just changed. So for 3 months, we needed to
and
be
let me tell you, I have never been more grateful that every time when I was planning, but I was super stressed out. Since the day I found out I was pregnant to the day I gave birth, my stress levels were like at 1 million. Because everyone just kept telling me, you're overthinking it. See, you have a husband. I was like, listen, husbands die.
He's not an employee as a legacy.
Do you understand? Like, people, I'm so happy they overthink. Because I planned for actually 5 months when I was saving in that business emergency fund. So imagine for 5 months, much as I was, towards the 5th month, I was just like, Kai Aki, this baby needs to let me work. At this point now, so I started taking like 2 jobs, kidogo. So someone be like, hey, we need our staff members trained. We met at Youth Plus that day. So I was starting to kind of like, if I can be away for an afternoon, I try. So that kind of like, but for those 5 months, I wasn't so worried that my VA would have been, hey, madam, do you see? My emails were still, we had, by the time I was coming back to work, we had over like 40 people on the waiting list waiting to work with me. And that's because I had systems and structures in place to accommodate for the fact that I wasn't around, but I also had a plan to keep the people who kept onboarding these people on the waiting list.
To keep the business afloat.
The person who was, we shot videos during my entire pregnancy. We were shooting videos that give me at least 4 months. Because by the time I was giving birth in August, we had videos for till December. So you see, you need the person editing and uploading. Doing all of that. So we'll definitely talk about like how to plan for transitions. A transition could be like I'm shutting things down to expand, or I'm expanding, or I'm going on mat leave, or I need to relocate. Especially because we are freelancers and business people, the survival of that business depends on your survival. So we need to figure out systems and structures around accommodating for those shocks and inconveniences, right? So we'll talk about that. And 100%, we have to talk about investing because eventually, aki kusema kweli, much as I love my business, Adelle, I'm not trying to do this till I'm 80.
And who will have the energy and even just the interest?
And have you ever noticed when you feel like you're really, really slaving in your business, you begin to resent it. You begin to hate it. You begin to not show up. When your business is running in such a way that you cannot even catch a break. You don't like
You don't show up.
You don't show up.
It needs you to.
Correct. So I think also talking about how you invest as a business person. Me, honestly, not that I have anything about employment. I've tested both ends. The potential is infinite.
On this side.
On the side we are in. But the stress levels, obviously.
Also infinite.
So choose your hard. Genuinely, I feel like being employed is hard. And I feel like being an entrepreneur is hard. So just choose.
Actually, someone on our advisory board, whenever I go and complain to him, he always asks, when I say it's so hard, he asks me, what isn't? And I'm like, good question.
Good question. Exactly. So I think as entrepreneurs, we probably just need to have that conversation in terms of, I think the opportunities are infinite.
Yeah.
Adele, the amount of money I've made since I started my business cannot compare to, had I still been employed to date, there's a level of money that I would never have laid my hands on.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality. Because there's no glass ceiling.
Yeah.
It just depends on, am I upskilling?
Yeah.
Am I branding well? Am I running the business well?
Am I courageous enough to like dare?
To even ask.
Yeah.
To even ask and say, hey, Adele, can I come to your podcast?
Yeah.
Can we partner on something? Can you come to my events? Those things. Right?
Yeah.
So when you understand, there's a science to that madness. Every business has a crack code, like a cheat code. So you just need to work and figure that out and then begin now to, because for me, it's very important when the business makes money, where is that money going?
Yeah.
That's really key to how you as the business person will thrive financially. Yeah. So I think also where we are putting our money, how we are putting the money, why we are putting the money there, we should definitely have a conversation about why it's necessary for us as freelancers and business people to invest in the way that we should, or the way that, I will recommend during the session.
Yeah. Another thing that will happen during the session is we have a Q&A segment where you get to ask Susan the questions that maybe are very tailored to your experience. Yeah. And you can also ask the questions anonymously in case you're just feeling like, I don't. No problem. We have a line that you can send in your questions anonymously as well. Yeah. Susan, I'm just so excited for this. October came without me even I just feel like the year just flew.
Me too.
And so I got a prompt from Mercy, my colleague, and she's like, okay, we need to start getting ready for October. I was like, it's October already? That means it's December. So I really appreciate that you always have time for us. And you always have this loving way that you're pouring into us, not from it's not clinical the way you did of 1+1. It's a very caring way of imagine I want to see you be the best you. And so I'm very excited to have you back on the...
I can't wait. Yeah. We'll just have to rauka at 9 a.m.
No worries. I said, when she said season 1 said start at 9, I was like, no probs.
No.
Honestly, it's how you pour into yourself. So if you really want to meet a version of you, meet a version of your business that is financially healthier, what's bad about waking up at 9, So it's on the 25th of October, 9 a.m. It's virtual. So wherever you are in the world, you can join us. And in the show notes, there's a link with all the details. But thanks, Susan, for being on the show.
Awesome. I'm so excited for the wellness session, for sure.
Thanks for listening to the Mid Week Tease, a Legally Clueless Africa production. Episodes go out every Wednesday, and you can learn more about us by going to legallycluelessafrica.com.